Interview you'll see only on CBS this morning. The two women told us there is nothing inappropriate about their arrangement with the 52-year-old singer. What is your relationship, both of you, with R. Kelly?
We're with him. That's our relationship.
We're with him. Yeah, that's what it is.
And we're in a relationship with him.
Right.
You just said it.
A very strong relationship as well.
Both of you?
Yes, most definitely.
You know, how do we say this without being inappropriate? Is this a three-way relationship, or do you each have a separate relationship with him? How does this work?
Well, both
I'm
of
curious.
those.
Yeah.
We both have our individual relationships with him, and we all are family all together. We have our moments where we sit and watch movies all together. We go to amusement parks all together.
I'm not talking about Azriel going to movies and sitting watching, going to parks. I'm talking about, is it a three-way sexual relationship?
Sexually? Well, first of all, I'm not here to talk about my personal life.
Okay.
And I would never share with no one what I do in or outside of the bedroom. And as a woman, I'm sure you would not either.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't, but
okay, then.
No, you're
next
right.
question.
No, you're right. I would not, but this is a very different circumstance.
It's not a different circumstance. There are people all over the world who have multiple girlfriends. It's no different.
Do both of you all believe you're in love with him?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Should your parents be concerned?
No.
Why?
Well, my parents knew where I have always been for 4 years. They have known. They know that I've been well taken care of.
They never thought you were missing, Azriel. They just were wondering if you were okay.
Well, my parents have actually came to Chicago and seen me a few times. I've talked to them. They stopped answering my calls.
You know what they say? They say that you were brainwashed. I talked to your dad last night. He says, my daughter is brainwashed, and he's very concerned. He said he was here 2 days ago, and you wouldn't even look him in the eye.
Okay, I wouldn't look him in the eye because he's a liar, and he's a manipulative liar.
I'll tell you why they're concerned, Azriel, because they say she's 17. We found text messages that indicated that she was having sex with R. Kelly when she was 17. Is that true?
No, that is a lie. That is a lie. I was not having sex with him at 17.
Why would they want to lie about you, their daughter?
Okay, so when I first met Robert, my parents told me to lie about my age. So when I met him, he thought that I was 18. On top of that, when I was 17, my parents were actually making me, trying to get me to take photos with him, take sexual videos with him, all kinds of stuff.
Wait. Your parents encouraged you to do sexual videos with R. Kelly?
Yes. And they said because if they ever have to blackmail him, what they're trying to do now, they can use it against him, which is exactly what they're doing.
Jocelyn, I see you nodding a lot with what she's saying. Why are you nodding in agreement with what she's saying?
Because everything that she's saying is true. Our parents are basically out here just to get money, and
your parents, you're saying the same as saying?
Well, both of our parents are basically out here to trying to get money and scam because they didn't agree on what happened, you know, with music or wherever it could be, and they're just very upset.
This is the first time hearing, to be honest with you, that your parents are trying to get money from R. Kelly.
Okay.
Because your father told a very different story to me last night.
Yeah, he's the manipulative. He's very manipulative, so he's the one you need to watch out for. But my dad and my mom, they started to send threats to both me and him. They said, oh, I'll put all your naked pictures all over the world. I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to ruin him. If he doesn't send $20,000 to this bank account by Monday, oh, I'm going to put everything out there and then $10,000 after that. You're trying to solicit me like I'm some hoe. I'm not. I'm your child.
Exactly.
Yeah, you sound very angry with your parents. You sound very angry and very pained. Tell me, Azriel, why you're crying. Tell me.
I'm crying because you guys don't know the truth. You guys are believing some facade that our parents are saying. This is all lies for money. And if you can't see that, you're ignorant and you're stupid as because you want to be. All because that's the world we live in. Negativity sells.
Exactly.
Gossip is what sells. Rumors are what sells.
Exactly.
But Jocelyn and Azriel, this is more than gossip. This is more than just rumors. These are decades of allegations against Robert Kelly.
We're not here to talk about decades. We're here to talk about what our parents are doing right now.
Right.
And what they're doing right now is all for money.
Right.
Now, both sets of parents deny ever asking Kelly for money or receiving money from him. You know, as I watched as I was talking to them, because I had talked to the father, there are two very different stories. I'm sure Mr. Clary, if he watches this morning, his head will explode because he has a very different version of what these young women are saying. And his team had told us that R. Kelly would not be in the room. After the interview started, he was around the corner behind them. They couldn't see him. But at points during the conversation, he would cough very loudly like that, so they were aware that he was there.
He wanted them to know that he tried to stop the interview backstage a couple times.
Yeah, a couple of times. Laz, who was taking those amazing photos that you've seen, is my makeup artist, who's also a very good photographer, as you also see. R. Kelly came up to him and said, should I stop this interview? Should I stop this interview? He never did. So the girls at some point were certainly aware that he was there. And I just wanted to say, as a mother, get your things, let's go. You are 21, you are 23, and he is 52 years old. And I know many people believe age is just a number. When you're looking at these young women, they parrot a lot of what he is saying.
It's ugly to watch, but abuse is ugly. And the manipulation that continues, and the powerlessness, and trying to feel powerful, and the blame. It's a
bad situation. I think one day, years from now, everybody will look back on this and just say it's very sad, very tawdry, and just very, very ugly.
I hope that what comes of this is that people go to the websites, and we should post them too, that his ex-wife talked about, where you can look at the signs of whether you're in an abusive relationship or not, because you'll find out, hey, I'm in 8 of these 10, and then you realize I need help.
Yes. Now, they do not think they're being abused or manipulated or brainwashed, but again, they're 21 and 23. In our next hour, we will ask R. Kelly
is back in jail this morning for not paying his child support bills. He was arrested yesterday in Chicago after he failed to pay more than $161,000 he allegedly owes. Now, that happened just hours after Gayle's explosive interview with him first aired. Kelly also faces 10 charges of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Court documents allege 3 of his 4 accusers were underage at the time. Kelly has pleaded not guilty.
The 2 women that Kelly lives with are Azriel Clary and Jocelyn Savage. They were in court as he was arraigned on those charges last week. Their parents say they believe the singer has brainwashed them. We asked R. Kelly about allegations that he lured these young women with promises of helping their singing careers. Now, Kelly claims it was Savage's mother who pushed him on the issue.
She started promoting that Jocelyn could sing, and she was a singer, and she's trying to be a singer, and wanted me to produce her and whatever. I said, well, let her sing. She sang and she couldn't sing.
But how does it go from she can't sing, you don't think she has a talent that you like, but she ends up being with you, spending time with you, living with you?
Because I'm not with her for her talent. When I saw her on stage, nothing about her told me she sing. I don't have I can't say, oh, that girl sing. It's because she was beautiful.
Well, we then interviewed Azriel Clary and Jocelyn Savage with R. Kelly, who was standing nearby, even though his team had told us he would not be in the room. He entered after the interview began. They told us that their parents are just looking for money, which both sets of parents deny. Do either of you want to sing?
No.
No.
None of you have any singing ambitions?
No.
No.
That's another lie.
Yeah.
That's another lie.
Yeah.
Trust me. No, we did not want to sing.
I did hear that you wanted to sing. I heard that you wanted to sing.
So let me tell you something about singing, actually.
Okay.
Before I even met R. Kelly, I told my parents I did not want to sing. My parents made singing like a job for me. So this is not something I wanted to do. And not only that, I even tried to kill myself because I did not want to sing, as a cry out for help, to tell them this is not what I want to do with my life. This is not how I want to spend my life.
Yeah, your father told me that you had tried to take your life, and that the only thing that made you happy was singing.
No.
And that's why he became involved with R. Kelly.
Let me tell you something.
To help you.
No.
Neither one of you want to sing. What do you want to do in terms of a job or career? Are you happy just doing what you're doing?
Honestly, I'm happy doing what I'm doing. I haven't figured out what I want to do with my life, but I know when that time comes, we know Rob is going to support us regardless.
Right. Most definitely. He's our full support, and we're his full support. And all we need is each other.
Jerika Duncan is outside the Cook County Jail in Chicago, where R. Kelly is in custody, with the response from the Clary and the Savage families. Jerika, good morning.
Good morning. Azriel and Jocelyn's parents both say that they never received any money from R. Kelly. And as you just heard in that clip, Azriel says that she actually tried to attempt suicide because of her parents pressuring her to sing. Well, CBS News reviewed medical records, and according to those medical records, Azriel told doctors at the time that the suicide attempt was triggered by issues with her then boyfriend. She told them music helped calm her down. And in the Lifetime docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, Clary's parents say it was Azriel who was pushing to become a famous singer and work with Kelly. They claim they told Azriel she could not be alone with Kelly if she worked with him.
I didn't think it was a good fit. I didn't want to have any part of it, but Azriel actually pressed us. She made her little threats about if we didn't, let her do this, what she would do.
At a news conference yesterday, Jocelyn Savage's parents said they had proof it was Kelly who arranged for Jocelyn to meet him. They said they were disturbed by his interview.
What I saw on TV this morning about his way he acted when he got upset, I can only imagine what he does behind closed doors.
I sit there and I want to not just pray for my daughter, but pray for Mr. Kelly to get some type of healing.
Now, about 30 minutes after the news conference, Jocelyn contacted her family for the first time in 2 years. She called their lawyer's office and said that she is happy. Now, a manager for R. Kelly said that he would facilitate an in-person reunion for the Savages as early as next week. Jocelyn's parents also said, though, that they want a mental health expert to be with them. Bianna?
Thank you, Jerika.
Can I say something to Jerika? Jerika, I'm glad you pointed out about the medical records, because Mr. Clary, Azriel's father, told me the exact same thing. The reason why she committed suicide, that she tried to commit suicide, tried to take her own life, was because she had had a very messy breakup with a boyfriend. So I'm glad that you have documentation that actually backs up what he is saying.
Yes.
Thank you, Jerika.
I mean, it's a sad story, as you mentioned, all the way around.
Yes.
And it's so complicated, and there's so many layers.
It's very complicated and just very, very tawdry and messy. But hopefully there will be a resolution very soon. Thank you very much.
And of course, any young girl has the right to change her mind as to her career ambitions, but it seems to be a bit more than just that.
That's a good point.
And we remind you, the Gayle King interview with R. Kelly will air in a primetime special tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central here on CBS.
A spokeswoman says the Air